What's going on, guys? This is Fifth Dread from FifthDread.com, and it's Friday. I normally do Fifth Dread Fridays, but today I'm kind of lazy. I want to relax, so I'm doing a quick video on my cell phone. So what I want to do today is talk about something I haven't got a chance to talk about very much, and that's my arcade cabinet. So I have it sitting here, and I kind of want to do a video about it. I've been promising will do one. I haven't done one, and you know, my cell phone's not the best thing to do a video with because the audio kind of isn't the best, but it'll get the job done. So let's talk about what recently happened. My decals are now attached. You can see I actually have a new marquee decal. It looks a lot better than it did because it's dark now. It was behind a piece of plexiglass in the past. I went ahead and got a full gloss marquee sticker created. I liked it better because initially my marquee was intended to light up, but it was so ugly that I went ahead and got a sticker, which it just looks so much nicer. I mean, the light's still in there. It doesn't light up anything, but it just looks nice. The high gloss is really great. My control panel I had to take completely apart and apply this sticker I have created. The Super Street Fighter 4 characters are on it. It's really, really nice. It's got like a really high gloss finish. It's a really nice quality sticker. I'm really impressed with it. I added a few little, I don't want to say blood stains, but at the top here to match the front, which has your little cool stains, the FifthDread.com logo, and you got Ryu and Ken here. Let me try to get a close-up on them. It's kind of iffy, but looks pretty good. Now, let's go ahead and... Oh yeah, and another thing you guys haven't seen in the video is my bezel. It's actually a wood bezel. I just cut it out of a piece of thin, whatever board this is. I went to Home Depot, got the thinnest sheet of MDF they had. I think that's what this is. Cut a square out the middle with a jigsaw after I measured the measurements, and now it's just stuck in there just like that. It looks good. I didn't want to put a plexiglass sheet because, you know, a lot of people were like, oh, plexiglass sheet will be great, but I didn't want to have a high glare. And if you can see, everything's sort of like a mirror. The stickers, this, I mean, it all picks up glare really good. When I had the plexiglass here, it picked up really bad glare. The way this screen is, it's a, a matte screen? Whatever they call it. It's not a high gloss screen, so you don't have that glare, you know, which I don't like. But the bezel does. It looks real nice, even with the high gloss, because I put a thick coat of paint on it. It still looks really good. You know, there's a few things I probably could have done to make it a little bit better, but yeah. The sides, they're just straight black. There's nothing special about them. And you see it's on top of the mini fridge I showed you guys in an earlier episode. You know, there's nothing in it right now because, well, this room used to be our little gaming rig area, but now it's my studio area with a sheet. You see how I have the sheet sort of nailed up there behind the TV and everything for where I intend on doing future videos. So, alright, let's talk about one thing I want to give you guys in this video is lessons learned about my arcade cabinet. So, of course, it looks good. I'm really happy with it. In fact, in this video, it looks great. You know, the red tea molding, my theming's really good. The Super Street Fighter 4 theme looks good. The only thing I wish I had was the sticker on the side of it, which, you know, I intend on doing, you know, big stickers for the sides. I just haven't got around to opening up Photoshop, getting the dimensions right, figuring out what I want. And it's going to be Super Street Fighter 4, I'm sure. Something Super Street Fighter 4 on the sides. I just haven't got around to doing it yet. So, lessons learned, guys. Let me tell you, from the ground up, there's things that I would do differently if I did this project again. And I'm going to make another arcade cabinet when I move out of here. Right now I'm in Hawaii, and when I move back to the mainland, I knew it was going to be a lot easier to have a bar top moved than having a large arcade cabinet moved. It would just be, I mean, it would work, it would be shipped, it would just be such a pain to move around the house. This thing I can pick up and move up and down the stairs by myself, just fine. So, I want to show you guys little things that you can do to improve upon a cabinet. And let me go ahead and show you another revision I kind of did. Alright, first thing you'll probably notice right away is this glowing glowness. Now what this is just red LEDs wrapped around. It's not that pretty, honestly. This was going to be for maybe the marquee, but I had it. So what I did, I just fed it through, it's plugged into the computer power supply, and it feeds out through like a little crack down here, and just wraps around like this. And what this does is it gives a sweet red glow on the wall behind the arcade cabinet. Looks really good. I also have a lamp right here to add a little bit more red effect. But this is supposed to be like, just a part of the whole ambiance, so to speak. Another thing I added was a lock. I didn't want this thing because it didn't have any way of, it wasn't really latched shut. It's more or less held in by, well, it just being a tight fit. So I didn't like that. I want something that, like, you absolutely know if I'm lugging this thing up and down stairs, it's not going to open. And this does that for me. I drilled a small hole into this side panel, and this just slides in and out of it. Let's see if I can get a good focus on it. Yep. Just like that. Now, there's a few pros and cons when using a system like this, but it works for me. Another thing, if you guys are going to be doing a project like this, be very careful about any doors that you're going to have. For example, this is what I consider a door, or like an opening. You see this? This is what happens when your door that opens is, I want to say a perfect fit. You want to make it a slight hair smaller than, the width, the maximum width. So this is like 20 inches, I think. I should have made it like 19 and like 15 sixteenths or something, just that little bit thinner, because that added wall of paint actually makes it, actually puts a layer here, and that layer is getting scraped, as you can see. So I would have made this board thinner. That's something I would have done both in the back and on the front. Whenever I open the control panel, you guys know it opens like this. I'm not really going to open it for you guys. I guess I could show you a little bit. So right in here, you see those chips? That's actually from where it's been sliding back and forth, and that's one thing that I do not like. Oh yeah, and another thing I added here, you guys didn't notice, well, you might have noticed, but I didn't tell you guys, is a strip of T-molding to cover up this crack right here. So if I open it, it just stays on. It's just glued on. You can actually see the glue right there. So, just glued on there. This opens up, and one thing I gotta tell you guys, I made a mistake. I had the sticker on here in the front, and in this corner here, you see the refrigerator here. Let me kind of get the white balance fixed. You see this little thing that sticks out? Well, I had an issue here, and actually you can see remnants of it. You see that little mark right there? That's actually where I had to put, where this piece collides with this, and that is not good for the cabinet. Oh, you can see it really good now. So you see that little piece of sticker there? That was kind of just leftover black sticker that I put over like a really bad gash. So if I was to go back in time and redesign this control panel, I love the way it opens now, but I would have considered maybe just cutting like the bottom piece, actually, that's on the bottom, cutting it in half like this, and having the bottom piece open up from the bottom like this. That way I can really get professional on this top part. I could have filled in these cracks. You can't really see cracks. Can't really see cracks because it's a really tight fit. But, whenever I open it, I risk scraping this paint. And then, you know what I do? Whenever I scrape the black paint, I just take a black Sharpie and I, go in here and just, fill in these little black areas. I actually had to do that for some of it. Another thing, guys, if you guys really want to pay attention to detail on some of this stuff. One thing I had to do was glue this piece onto the wood behind it, and the glue kind of seeped. Now you barely need any glue, guys. I overdid the glue and it started to leak out on the bottom. And this is like I used Gorilla Glue, so you can kind of see remnants of where I had tried to scrape it off. You can see this line. Tried to scrape it off, and here we are with residue, so I had to cover that up with black paint. So, you know, it is what it is. I'm just showing you guys the blemishes because I really, you know, I don't like showing you guys the blemishes because I'm really proud of what I have, but I want to show you guys so, you know, you guys know where you can be careful on your build if you want it to be like super perfect. Another thing about attention to detail is look up here. You can see my T-molding here doesn't line up perfectly here. This is something that I had to deal with because when I was cutting along here with a slot cutter, I was a little rushing, and when I was cutting along, I started to kind of stray off of the path a little bit, and I think this T-molding isn't the, you know, perfect size for it or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it is. But all I know is I kind of strayed off on my cuts. I was too fast. I should have slowed down. And if I had a proper table to sit on or whatever, you know, I had a small routing table. It was really garbage. So when I cut, you know, I have this access here. You can't really tell from the front. Like, you're just chilling here, you know. I'm not really showing you a good angle for it. But, you know, you don't really care to notice it too much from a distance or even playing it or anything. But another thing I want to hit up on, the way I applied the stickers both in the front and on the top, these are both wood surfaces, and they stuck really well, and they hide blemishes because you can see kind of like a bumpy texture already from the wood. That's because, you know, you're getting a little bit of that texturization from the wood throughout, so it hides any kind of bumpy blemishes you might have on your wood. But when you apply it, make sure that you do it very carefully and clean the surface like a ton. Otherwise you're going to get blemishes. Now the marquee is a good example of where I wasn't doing it perfect. This is actually a piece of plexiglass that's stuck on, and it does not hide blemishes very well. I'm going to go ahead and point myself out. You see here? This is a blemish because I actually had a piece of glue here that was sticking out from when I glued this on, and I didn't see it until after I applied the sticker. I tried to scrape some of it off and cleaned it up, but you still have this blemish. Another thing I have is a bubble situation. Let me see if I can see it. It's hard to focus because it's trying to focus on the background because of the reflection, but I have a bubble situation. Here you go, you can see it now. These little bubble blemishes here, I tried getting them out, but it is what it is, you know. So I should have been more careful on that. Some people say that you can apply like a spray bottle of soapy water and get it lined up, get it on there perfect. It is what it is. I'm not gonna, you know, I guess I could buy another sticker if I want, but I think it's good the way it is because I don't really notice it from the front. And I have those little blemishes everywhere. It's not a big deal, but it is something that you notice. Here you can kind of see a little bit of scrapage. It's actually a lot worse in the video than it looks in person. But I would, in this situation here, like you can see where I could have applied the paint better. Or, you know, it would have been better if this opened on the bottom. So yeah, that's my... I'm talking about mainly hardware stuff today. You know, the software components, a lot of you guys are asking me, hey, can you show me some Hyperspin stuff or can you share your build? I'm sorry guys, I'm not sharing the build. I even had one person, you know, beg me to share my software build, and while I would love to, I really can't. So I'm not going to. You know, stop asking. If you want to find where the ROMs are, where all the stuff is, go to the Hyperspin forums. Go to all your emulator websites. You'll find the resources you need. You don't need me to provide it for you. So, I mean, I found it all. Within a month, guys, I had the project. I had nothing. And then by the end of the month, I had this entire thing built. And I had, you know, the software set up too. So, it is what it is. I mean, I did have some emulators I had from the past and ROMs, so I guess I did have some. But I was able to go online and find all the, software components, emulators, ROMs, everything. I found it all, so you guys should be able to find it too. Google is your friend, right? So let's see, I think that's all the lessons learned. I would say that I would have put a thicker coat on. It's kind of grainy right now, but I would have rather the side been glossy because I didn't put... I put multiple coats on, but I didn't put a thick enough one. You can actually see here 2 bumps. These will be hidden when I put the sticker on, but that's from where I had like either screws. I think screws coming through the other side. Yeah, so that's just something you got to watch out for. You got to be careful with. That's a blemish. I don't know, man. I think that's pretty much it for that. Let's talk about some of the stuff that you guys have been giving me as far as feedback. I'm really grateful for the feedback I've been getting from you guys. As far as the channel, the arcade cabinet, all the stuff that I've been doing, it's really fun to read what you guys have to say, to see what builds you guys are doing. It's super exciting to see you guys make progress on what you guys are doing, and a lot of you guys have been downloading my blend file I have for this build. And what the blend file is, if you haven't heard already, it's basically just a 3D model of this entire cabinet, and literally it's pretty much mirror image of this entire thing. There's a few modifications I made actually building it, but barely anything. So if you want to get a 3D scale model of everything, even the internal components, guys, including the monitor, the motherboard and stuff, I want to show you guys that, but I'm not about to open up the back right now. But I do want to say, guys, if you want to download the 3D model, it's on fifthDread.com. You just got to go to fifthDread.com, sign up. It's free. It's simple. You can even use your Facebook login or whatever. And just go to the download section. It'll be one of the top downloads. And you'll get all the blend files. You just need Blender 3D to open it, which is another free software. Super easy to use. Well, I think it's easy to use. Yeah, and let's see what else. I do want to say, if you guys want to help out with my channel, I've been doing a lot of tech stuff recently because, well, I like doing tech stuff. I like to talk about phones. I like to talk about the tech news. Really nothing going on this week. So I figured I'd show you guys a little bit of arcade cabinet. But if you guys want to leave some feedback, I provided a link on fifthDread.com. My top article right now on the home page will give you a link to my survey, and on my survey you can fill out kind of feedback on my channel, just stuff that you guys want me to provide in the future. Do you want me to do more videos on the arcade? Do you want me to do more projects? Do you want me to do more tech news? Do you want me to do whatever? And I also want to know how you guys actually feel about the content I've already produced. So if you guys are interested, I'd be, really grateful if you guys would take my survey. It won't take long, and in fact, a lot of the questions are optional, so if you don't want to answer one, just skip it. So yeah, fifthDread.com, guys. But this will be it for today. The next video I plan on doing, I want to do a software video, and I also want to show you guys the insides. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, I added something to this. A fan controller. So a fan controller was a big deal for me because when I turned on the cabinet, I would get noise, and I hate cabinet noise when I turn on a cabinet. The fan on the bottom that intakes the air was giving me a lot of issues because, well, all the fans on the inside of this ran on maximum RPM because I had no fan control. They plugged in directly into the power, and so they would all be at maximum speed at all times. So I really wanted to get a handle of that. So I bought a small fan controller, and it's on the inside of this attached to the motherboard acrylic tray. And what it does, it controls 3 fans, and since I have 3 fans inside of this, that's perfect. I basically brought down all the fans down to around 50%. And this keeps it cool even during the most intense games. So I did a test. I ran Super Smash Brothers Brawl, which was very CPU intensive. And the CPU still stayed below 60 degrees Celsius, which is really good. And it's completely silent. I can't even hear it when I turn it on. The fans rev up. I can't hear anything because I turned it down. And I also bought a new fan for the base. I got rid of the Cooler Master I had, and I replaced it with, it came from, or it was a Cooler Master 120mm fan. I replaced it with a Corsair 140mm fan. So it's a larger fan. First off, it's already quieter because it's larger, and they designed it to give a low hum, which is better than a high-pitched hum. So it was already quieter out the gate, so that was good. And I put it in there, and not only does it push more air because the hole was big enough for 140mm, but it's also quieter already, and now it's perfectly silent. You might hear the refrigerator right now because, well, it's pretty loud, but it is what it is. I can't really get around the refrigerator noise. I had to actually unplug the fridge when I'm doing a podcast because it makes a hum. Whenever I actually, go somewhere and I have enough room for this arcade, I'll probably have it somewhere a little bit more exclusive than on top of a refrigerator that I bought. But it is what it is. It does the job. And actually, one project I was thinking about doing was adding a little bit of height to this, because you can see where it is now. If I want to keep it on the fridge, what I want to do is make it a little bit taller because, well, it's kind of short, guys. I'm like standing up, this camera's at my face, and I'm looking down at it, and when I'm using the controls, my hands are, not really stretched down low or anything, but I'm looking down at this angled screen, and I'd rather be looking like this instead of like this. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm up close like this and we're playing two players, kind of like you're getting this, and I'd rather be getting this. You know what I'm saying? So if I could get that up about half a foot, I'd be happy. So what I was thinking about doing, guys, is building a cabinet extension, so to speak. And basically what I want to do is have something that goes in between this arcade cabinet and the base. So what I would do is really just build a box, okay, and have T-molding on it because I got extra T-molding, and just paint it black. And all I would do, it would just sit. You can actually see there's a gap in between here because I have the fan intake on the bottom, right, and the little feet here. So what I would do is I would just have the feet, sitting directly on the box. And I'd probably put feet on the top of the box so it would, rest directly on the wood. Anyway, I was thinking about building a drawer, right, that you could pull out. And in that drawer would be like controllers. So you could play, I'd probably use 360 controllers, honestly. And you could play like, games like Super Smash Brothers Brawl or these fighting games or whatever. The PlayStation games, you could just use standard controllers. And I'm a big Xbox controller fan because I like wireless controllers, so I'd use those. So that's a project I'm thinking about doing, guys. If you want to see me do it, you want to see what it looks like, let me know. And, hey, maybe I'll expedite that process. But I'm kind of lazy right now. I've been slowing down on projects. I've been slowing down on buying stuff. So, yeah, that's something I'm considering doing. So, yeah, guys. Leave me some feedback. Check out fitdread.com. Do the survey. You can download the link to the plans for the cab. On fitdread.com download section. If you guys are interested in, some help, let me know on fitdread.com, guys. I'll help you guys. I'd like to see what you guys can build. If you guys use my build, man, let me know. I'll be interested in seeing how yours turns out. Alright guys, this is FitDread from FitDread.com, and I'll see you next week.